We need to turn the mics back. Wow, hello?
Yeah.
They're on now.
Sorry.
I think we need to turn the mics back on. I do. Good afternoon, Madam Chair. I have two. Terry, I saw you. Where's Terry? Hi, stand up, Terry. First one I'd like to recognize is Terry O'Day. She's our Procurement Operations Coordinator, and she recently earned her Certified Purchasing Card Professional Certification from the Institute of Commercial Payments. And this credential recognizes individuals who have demonstrated specialized knowledge in the field of purchasing cards, so our P-Card program. So congratulations, Terry. And my second one, Matthew Cato. Oh, there. Oh, you're sitting together in the back. He is our senior procurement agent, and he just earned his National Institute of Government Purchasing Certified Procurement Professional Certificate. That's a mouthful.
Wow.
And this designation required passing an exam measuring public procurement's technical aspects as well as elements of leadership, business principles, and procurement strategy. So congratulations to you as well, sir. Thank you, Madam
Is that
Chair.
it? Okay, thank you very much. Congratulations to you both. Well earned and deserved, I'm sure. So is there any public comment on the consent agenda today? Okay, hearing none. We'll move to the consent agenda. And are there any items that need to be pulled by anyone?
None.
No? Okay, so
I move to approve the consent agenda.
great. So motion and second, all those approved?
Aye.
Any denied? Hearing none, so approved. Okay, that was tabs 1 through 10. We'll move to the administrative agenda, which starts on our tab 11 here. So Steve, if you'd
Yeah,
like to.
thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to ask Mr. McGonigal to give a review of the fiscal year 23-24 rates and charges for Southwest Florida Airport.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Yes, item 11 is we're requesting the board approve the actual fiscal year 23-24 rates and fees. If you recall, this is where every year we compare what our budgeted revenues were to what the actual revenues were and budget expenses to actual expenses. This is required under the airline use agreement. This is the last time with this use agreement. This use agreement's been in place since 2008. We're now in a new agreement, so this is the last year of this one. It was a great year. Passengers came in at 11.1 million passengers for the fiscal year, which is a record. So we broke the record, which was in 2022, by 36,000 passengers. So we just tweaked it like by 0.5%. So with that, we track revenues, expenses every month. We watch it every single month. And revenues were coming in solid. We budgeted about 84 million in revenues. It came in at 101 million in revenues. And I just want to shout out a couple of notable increases in revenues that we saw. Investment income, 6 million more than what we budgeted based on the higher interest rates that we're earning. We also received, interestingly, business interruption insurance from Hurricane Ian 2 years ago. Part of our policy, we had a business interruption insurance. It took 2 years to reconcile it. We knew we were getting something. We were back and forth, so we got 4.6 million. Just came in the door 3 months ago. So we didn't budget for that. The parking lot was just gangbusters. It came in at 29 million, exceeding our budget by close to 7. So on the expense side, if you look at the expense side in our operating budget, we spent about 90% of our operating budget. Some savings that we saw were in insurance. We saved about 770,000 in insurance premiums. Utilities, about 300,000, came in less than what we budgeted. Utilities is expensive. It's over $5 million a year that we pay, and it came in about 300,000 less than what we budgeted. In fuel, we saved about $400,000. Our payroll, we spent 97% of our payroll. Spent $47 million payroll. We left 3% on the table. We typically spend 95 to 97% every year of our payroll. This was the last year that we received CARES funding. You recall, during COVID, we got $79 million from the government to use over 5 years. This stabilized the rates for the airlines. The airlines benefited tremendously by the CARES funding. We just used the last 10 million last year, so that also kept their rates down. So as a result, when we lined everything up, their rates, the landing fee came in at $2.09. We charged them all year long at $2.59. The rates came in at $2.09, so they're going to get a refund on that. The terminal rental rate came in at $115 compared to what we charged them all year of $128. So when you go through the calculation, all the required adjustments, the airlines, our share, our 60% share, will be 16 million, and the airline share will be 10. So the auditors were here. They were here for 3 days. They poured through everything. They agree with all of our numbers. I would like to thank a lot Pete and Terry in our budget department who spent a lot of time doing this. It takes a few months to do it. So we're real pleased with the results. With your concurrence, we'll take it to the board in January, and then we'll cut checks to the airlines after that. So happy to answer any questions, but it was a good year.
Great. Any questions or discussion? I just have to learn the trick of how you had that much savings on insurance. I'm sure not experiencing savings
Yeah.
on insurance, so
So yeah, I think we were
remarkable.
making close to 5%
Yeah.
in interest. So we just expected the rates to come down more than they did. So
Good.
yeah.
Is there any public comment on this item? Hearing none, is there a motion?
I'll second.
Okay, motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, approved. Okay, moving to item 12, tab 12.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item number 12 is an amendment to the Delta Airlines use and lease agreement. Mr.
Yeah,
McDonough?
yeah, thank you. This is a real simple amendment. Delta Airlines signed a 10-year agreement on October 1st. This is a slight reduction in their space, real slight, but it's due to some of the work in their space with the terminal expansion project. It affected a little bit. So the ticket office space where the customers face the ticket agents, that went down 304 square feet. And then the office in the back, the ticket office in the back went down 48 square feet. It just requires board approval. The reason it's on admin, because they'll pay us well over $1 million over the next 10 years. So that's why it's sitting on admin here.
Question?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna move the item, but you need to do that
Okay,
first.
yes. Any public comment? Hearing none, motion?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, it's approved. Okay, now we'll go to tab 13, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item 13 requests board approve the pricing in terms of Omnia contract with CDW. Mr. McGonigal will
Yeah,
introduce it.
thank you, Steve. This is kind of two-pronged here. CDW is where our IT department buys all of our IT equipment, especially the equipment that's in everybody's office, plus all the equipment that's at the airline gates. We buy it all. CDW is a great vendor. It expired. We found an even better one. We piggybacked on a Mesa, Arizona, that procurement found. So we're going to use this from it expires in 2025. We're going to use it for 3 years at better pricing. Any one item that happens to come over 100,000 over the next 3 years, we'll bring it back. So, and then secondly, we're asking in CDW to approve the use of, it's a contract to renew VMware, which VMware monitors all of our server infrastructure. It's $398,000 for 3 years. It's expensive, but it keeps our entire infrastructure safe. This VMware, it's very important that we have it. So CDW also does that too. So we're asking for 2 things.
Yes,
Your
I
approval.
concur with that. Very important, so much
Yeah,
monitoring.
but
Good.
it is expensive.
Is there any discussion or questions? Okay, hearing none, is there any public comment on this item? Okay,
I'll move the item.
I'll second it.
there's a motion, second, all those
Excuse
in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it's approved. Item 14.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, item 14 is accepting a grant from FDOT, and I ask Ms. Underhill to introduce the item.
Good afternoon, committee members. For the record, Emily Underhill. This amendment adds $11,448,312 in state funds to fiscal year 24-25 to be used towards eligible costs for the terminal expansion project. Port Authority staff continues to work with FDOT to program additional funds to reduce the Port Authority's costs associated with the project. This brings FDOT's participation to date to over $66 million. And these grant funds can be applied to either the Phase 1 or Phase 2 terminal expansion projects.
Excellent. Is there any question or discussion? I still have to applaud the person or the team that applies for all these grants. Y'all just do a wonderful job. I
That
don't
is
think they
Juliet
just sit up-
Iglesias, who I believe is here in the audience.
Who is it? Ah,
Yes.
very good. Don't let anybody find out about you. Okay? This is phenomenal, because I'm sure they're not just sitting up there waiting to just give us money without us asking. So, excellent job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any public comment on this item? Hearing none, do I have a motion for approval?
Move.
Second, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it's approved. Well, just a lively group today. I don't know about you guys. Worn out. Okay, we're going to move to item 15.
All right, item 15 is a request to approve an agreement and contract amendment with PGAL. Ms. Underhill will introduce the item.
At the September 5th, 2024 Port Board meeting, the board selected PGAL Inc. as the top-ranked firm to perform design services for the rental car area relocation, expansion, and associated airport improvements project at RSW, and authorized staff to begin contract negotiations. Since that time, staff has successfully negotiated a professional services agreement and a contract amendment that provides for early scoping efforts for concept refinement and associated alternatives analysis. As part of this first task, the consultant will perform inventory and early scope analyses, a parking garage expansion structural investigation, an evaluation of alternatives, and ultimately a preferred alternative refinement. Therefore, staff recommends ASMC approval of 1, the professional services agreement for design services, and 2nd, a contract amendment in the amount of $941,716 to perform various concept refinement and alternatives analyses.
Questions, discussion? Hearing none, is there any public comment?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second.
All right, motion, second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that's approved. Moving on to tab 16.
Item 16 is asking ASMC to consider and rank qualified submittals for the construction manager services for runway 624. Ms. Underhill?
Okay, during the upcoming design period of the RSW runway 624 rehab project, the Port Authority needs a construction management firm to participate in that design process and provide valuable constructability reviews, construction cost estimating, construction phasing and sequencing input, and other typical pre-construction activities. Ultimately, the selected construction manager will assist the Port Authority in oversight and management during the project construction. To accomplish this, a request for qualifications was advertised for CM services, and only one submittal was received, that being Owen Ames Kimball Company. A staff evaluation committee was still held, that was done in November, to develop staff summaries, review comments, and recommendations for the committee for their consideration. So staff evaluation committee agreed that OAK was qualified to do the work and scored Owen Ames Kimball as number 1. So as a result of only one proposal submission, Port Authority staff recommends that the Airport Special Management Committee forego hearing oral presentations by the sole respondent, endorse the scoring by staff, and rank OAK as the number 1 firm subject to board approval.
So I guess the only question I have on this is I'm just surprised there was only one. And do you guess, is everybody just that busy out there? 'Cause, this is good paying work.
It is. It's a very difficult job. Owen Ames Kimball was the firm that performed the project last time, about 20 years ago.
Familiar.
They're familiar. and probably a lot of firms knew that.
Okay.
But it is a very difficult, challenging job. And with the extent of work here locally, it's not shocking. A little disappointing. We always like to see competition,
Sure.
but not totally shocking.
Well, we certainly know they're qualified. Any questions or discussion?
When they rehabilitate a runway, do they just have to do it at night?
That's what we're trying to sort out right now. We're doing a project formulation exercise. We're developing a white paper that's going through the different operational approaches to the project. And depending on which operational alternative we pick, will dictate how much work is done at night, how much is done during the day. So that's yet to be determined.
Will they be dividing we had 12,000-foot runway? They're gonna take 4,000 feet at a time, or how do they do that?
Well, that's what we're trying to sort out through the different alternatives. One alternative is converting taxiway Alpha to a temporary runway. So you would close the entire length of runway 624 and rehab it. The second alternative would be to displace both ends of runway 624, do one end at a time, another end at a time, and then the middle portion,
At
like as a
night?
third phase. FAA has asked us to take a look at rehabbing every night, shutting down a portion of runway 624 and opening it back up the following morning. So that's the third alternative that we're going to be doing further research on.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions, discussion?
I'll move the item.
Public comment, is there any public comment? Okay, hearing none. John moves
I'll move
the
the
item.
I'll second.
Second, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay, stands approved, and we'll move to the last item, 17.
Item 17 is consideration and rank qualified submittals for construction engineering services for the airport public safety building.
During the upcoming construction period for the new RSW Public Safety Building, the Port Authority needs a firm to perform construction engineering inspection services. The selected CI consultant will monitor and inspect the construction work to ensure the project is constructed in conformity with the plans, specifications, and other contract requirements. To meet this need, we did do an RFQ solicitation. It was advertised in July, and we did receive 3 submittals. One firm was deemed non-responsive. After that, we had a staff evaluation committee meeting to evaluate the 2 remaining respondents. Those were Michael Baker International and American Infrastructure Development. As a result of the staff evaluation committee meeting, we did score Michael Baker International as the #1 firm. And since the CEI services is a small portion of this overall $50 million project and don't believe oral presentations to be a necessity in this situation, just due to the nature of the work, Port Authority staff recommends that the committee forego hearing oral presentations by the 2 firms and endorse the scoring by staff and rank Michael Baker as a top-ranked firm, subject to board approval.
Okay. I'm sure as the other committees, having thoroughly reviewed all of this information and the credentials, I think the committee did a wonderful job, and I would definitely concur with their selection, their ranking. Is there any questions?
It's a very small job.
Mm-hmm. Discussion. I mean, I just don't feel it necessary to hear the.
Did you say it's a very small job?
This one is, it's like,
Like 15 million, isn't it?
Yeah, but the construction,
I mean, to me, that's big.
no, explain what part
the construction engineering inspection services associated with solicitation is just probably a couple $100,000.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yep. I thought you said 15 million.
that's the total construction value,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
But still, I think credentials of their ability to do that, even if it was 50,000, is important for us to look at. But I think the committee did a really good job breaking it all down. So is there any further discussion on this? Or,
I move the item.
I'll second it.
let me get public comment.
Moving too fast. Oh, yeah.
Any public comment on this item, please? Okay, hearing none.
Move the item.
Good.
I'll second.
I'll second it.
Great.
Scott can second.
All those in favor?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Great. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Emily. So, our executive director, what do
Hello
you have
again.
for us?
I have a couple items for you. I think first I want to start off with some more great concession news. Hopefully you've all seen it, that we had on Concourse D, Seaside Mercantile, which is our latest revamp over there. It's a refreshed retail store. Really gives a sense of place. That opened this last Friday the 13th. Goes along with the Fort Myers Brewing over there, and then the Relay a couple months ago. I think it really shows what we're working on as a concessions program for RSW, and kind of the kickoff of more to come over this next year. So it's a great addition for our passengers and for the airport. The next item is we did the Thanksgiving RSW remote parking lot. We had a few fewer cars than last year, 628 this year compared to 700. Our lots were pretty close to capacity, so this overflow helped. We'll be doing that product again starting, I think, this weekend for the week of Christmas. Just helps give people another option. It's been successful, so we have that going, and hopefully you've seen that advertised throughout the community in the various media aspects as well. This one is a big one for us. Lee County Port Authority, we did the Heart Walk. We were recognized by Lee Health and the American Heart Association as the 2024 Lee County Heart Walk top fundraising team at the Heart Walk this past Saturday. The Lee LCPA team raised $14,000 for heart health for the Heart Association. We had about 23 employees and family members that participated in the walk this weekend. So I think it's kudos to what the airport does as a community. It's LCPA employees donating and finding it in their heart to help those who, I guess that was a bad unintended pun, find it in their heart to help others with their heart needs. So it's great news.
That's
and
really
huge
good news.
Kudos to the team, and Kelly Sheets led that for us on behalf of LCPA. The next one is just a reminder, the board meeting will be January 16th. I believe it's at 1 o'clock, so that's a little change from normal. And happy holidays and happy new year to you all.
Very good. Well, I'm just so pleased to hear about that, about the Heart, because that's usually very competitive.
It is.
Getting out there raising that money. So excellent job. So shows you just don't care about flying planes, you care about the heart.
And I will say I appreciate somebody's water that was given out there. So
I can't imagine who. Okay, very good. Port Attorney, Rob?
No items, but I would like to thank you all for your service this year and hope you all have a wonderful holiday.
Thank you.
That's the kind of report we like from you.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, comments, none from me. Any from you guys?
Only thing I'd like to mention is, last week, we had the U.S. Navy Blue Angels advanced team into the Punta Gorda Airport to do the pre-air show inspection. We passed with flying colors. Remember the date, the first weekend in November, the Southwest Air Show will be going. We are looking for volunteers. It's an all-volunteer organization, so anybody who wants to get involved in the air show, let me know.
Is this November of 25?
25,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, wow, you have to have that long a lead time to get,
Yeah, this has been working for 2.5 years now.
excellent.
It's a big thing to get a jet team in.
Wonderful. Okay, mark down the date, guys. Okay. Any public comment from anyone on any other matters to come before us today? Hearing none, well, I too, and I think I speak for all of us, wish all of you a happy holiday, happy Hanukkah, a happy Merry Christmas, and just keep your families close and enjoy the time with them. So with that, we'll stand adjourned.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hey, Steve, what meeting?